Hello, I'm Penny Claus. I'm a happy wife, proud mother of two, a small animal veterinarian, and I write under the pen name P. Claus. If I had to boil myself down and describe myself in 3 words, I'd have to say believer, faithful, tenacious. I feel like I've contributed to the world is to try to be honest, fair, and have stories that can be enjoyed by all ages. I started writing when I was really young. When I was a kid, I remember that I wrote a Mother's Day essay for a contest. I won. I don't remember the prize, but all I remember was $25. That I was encouraged, by multiple sources, independent sources. Some, like English teachers, say, "Oh, you seem to be a natural with this," and that sort of thing. So I was always kind of drawn to biology as well as literature, and I think that was part of what helped, me settle on some career paths. I had a teacher that every Friday she would have us read, and I asked her, could I write? I'm working on a story, could I write? And she encouraged me. And I wrote a novel and tried to submit it, and didn't work out, but I didn't know how to do it, But anyway, so after vet school, I didn't write much during that curriculum because it was pretty intense, but I would write like client education type pamphlets. I wrote for a small town newspaper, some pet care articles, and then I started kind of working on my stories again, a kind of a stress relief type thing. Looking back, I just see a lot of roots, in like writing and so forth to help me, to be where I'm at now. I did a lot of reading too. I have several favorite authors. James Herriot, because of the animal stories and the experiences as a vet. Agatha Christie, because I love mysteries, and she's the big name, in mystery writing. J.R.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings. I was captivated by that series when I was in early high school. I enjoy reading. I enjoy escaping, into those stories. But most of all, what I really enjoy about some of the old masters, like J.R.R. Tolkien, Agatha Christie, those, is their endurance. They're still enjoyed today. They're still looked upon as enduring classics, that I would love for my writing to achieve that level. I would have to say the hardest thing that I had to write was the first novel. In navigating the getting it written, because I always thought I would be a short story type person, but then I started writing novels, and then my first one wound up actually being a trilogy. The proofreading, the drudgery of the proofreading, and of course worrying about grammar and having nobody to edit for me at that time. But that's what I found the hardest one. Since then, I've got more experience.
I think my mother's passion in writing is enlightening. She is so fired up about what she does and what she writes, and she spends so much time and dedicates so much to the details of it.
Penny Claus is my wife of 32 years. So I'm very supportive of her writing. Her passion is boundless. She throws herself into her work, and her creativity is obvious. She pursues it with great enthusiasm, and she's open to input, and will work that into her work. She's very good in pursuing what she's working on.
My journey in getting to where I am now, as far as the achievements and everything else, was a desire to write And then after that, after I got over the fear of sharing my work, a desire for people to enjoy my stories. First I try to go the traditional, traditional publishers, that sort of thing. Then every so often I would poke around on the internet, see what was out there, for people who wanted to independently publish. And I found a online platform, Booktango, it's no longer in existence, that did ebooks. And since I didn't really have any money at that time, I had to have something that I could get out there without having to pay a lot. And they would put on all these different platforms. I thought, well, I'm going to test the waters. I'm going to put some books out there. And I started off with, I've got a devotional series. I started off with one of those, but I had a collection of children's stories that I had written when I had taken a correspondence course with the Institute of Children's Literature. And so because of the word count, I wound up putting them all together and released it as a book. And this is a children's book. I didn't have anybody to make the cover. I just used a picture, put it up there. No illustrations. And it sold a little under 30 copies. And I was like, wow, am I an author? So that thrilled me with that. And that kind of helped encourage me to move forward. I was real discouraged one day, and I prayed, okay, God, if I'm supposed to do anything with this, somebody's got to call me about my book and call me at work, okay? Because I had no links in my web presence to my work. And that same day, somebody called me. And it was they wanted to represent one of my books at a book show. And what was interesting, though, was that it had to be a paperback version, and it was not available in paperback. And when I told the guy that yeah, I'd love for you to do this, but I don't have a paperback version. It's all ebook. He goes, well, I don't understand why I got this, across my desk. But I was able to move the book to Amazon at that point, and that's when they started their KDP, their print on demand. And I was able to get him books, and he took them and showed them. They also went to the expo that year in New York, and then from there I kept getting all these calls, people wanting to represent my books and stuff like that. And it's just been a step-by-step process.
Because I know that some people don't enjoy reading, and she's gotten compliments before on, from people that they usually don't like reading. It's not for them, something like that, but they pick up her book and suddenly they want more. It's like she instills like a craving in people, to read more, and I love that.
It can inspire people to look beyond. Depending on which one of the books you're talking about, one particular, you've got two separate societies. You've got two people. They can place themselves in one view or the other, and you can see how people view things from two different perspectives, which is something we deal with every day in this life. I think it would be very good and it'd be thought-provoking. And
my ultimate goal in my writing is for my works to be read and enjoyed. And also in that, just to get it out to the public, having it visually seen, on the screens, big, little, whatever, just to share the story.
I think the author's passion is enlightening. She has so much fire for what she does and what she puts into it that it's almost contagious.
It has a good beginning, good middle, a good end, and it gives you a strong basis. I think it'll leave them wanting more.
In having doubts about my ability in everything I've tried, I always had some doubts, yes. My faith has always been, tested. By conquering those doubts and moving forward, that's the only way you're going to find out, how things are going to wind up in the end, what kind of result. If you bow down to those doubts or those fears, then you're not going to get anywhere, and you won't ever know. You always have that question, could I have done more? But I just had to learn that I just need to push forward and have faith in God, and that He would help me through it. And then that way, I've achieved more than I would have if I had caved in.